What is up, everybody? We got a banger today. We are on our good friend Commander Chobo's account here doing our takeover for the 200th subscriber giveaway. Looking at 225 days of progress. Now, this is the first time I've been on the account. This is the first time I've done an account takeover, so we're going to do our best not to manhandle his stuff and try to save as many resources as we can. But what he's asked us to help out with is just setting up a team for Ice Golem 25 Auto. And then maybe taking a look at some of his 3v3 teams. And I'm going to gear up a couple champs that he just leveled up recently. So first let's check the Great Hall. Oh, that's beautiful. That's looking real good. Yeah, obviously he knows what he's doing. So the only thing I would recommend is next boost up these resistances. He's got some really solid champs on this account. Leorius, best arena nuker in the game. Best attack based arena nuker anyway. Got the Vizix. He must have pulled that from a shard, I guess, because when is Vizix in the login? Yeah. So he pulled a Vizix, which, I mean, she's an amazing champ. And I guess he'll have a Faction Guardian when he gets her pulled. Or when he gets her from daily logins. But that's a little bit of a feels bad. But we do have a Cardiel. And that is exceptional. We've got the Scyl of the Drakes, which he just leveled to 50 and got the Masteries. A couple other decent champs down here that aren't being used quite yet. Got a Melga. She's awesome. See if he's storing anything in his Now we got some shield guard action. Can respect that. Fleshmonger. Gimme. You bastard. So yeah, basically what you see on the main page is pretty much all the good champs. You got some Faction Wars champs and stuff in here too, which is cool. How are we doing on Faction Guardians? Yeah, so we got some work to do on the Faction Guardians for rares anyway, and for epics. I won't go through them all. So we're running, just going to touch base on the clan boss team so I know who not to touch. Martyr, Helicath, Sepulcher, Frozen Banshee, and Hellfreak. Doing a fatty 2-key Ultra Nightmare with that. That's pretty nice. And who are we running for Hydra? Just out of curiosity. Solid. 2 solid teams there. Can probably, once geared correctly, can probably quite easily start doing hard as well. So basically what my plan is I'm going to start by gearing out a couple of champs here. Leorius and Relentless, eh? Some pretty solid pieces there. Ooh, attack. That's rough. Even though it is revenge, you're going to want to go with crit damage. I'm pretty sure the extra damage from 33% crit damage is going to be better than the extra attack in a revenge accessory. And defense is fine, especially if you don't have a good attack ring. Makes him a little bit tankier for using him in PvE. And then accuracy. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through. I'll just show each of the builds real briefly here. So when I make changes to any of them, you can see what I've changed. 301 speed Arbiter, very nice. Deliana running a mishmash of gear. Drexstar and Lifesteal. pretty rough lifesteal gear, I guess. Hellcath and Martyr we're not touching, but I might use these guys in 3v3. Sylar in a fast stun set, that's nice. Would like to get the speed up more if possible. So we've definitely gone for stats over sets here. I'm wondering if that's due to just a lack of gear, where you can't make the proper sets. I don't know if he uses Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer. I personally don't. I've used it a couple times and I didn't like the results. But I'm sure it's gotten a lot better now, and it would be probably very useful for something like this where I know none of the gear on the account. So we've definitely got a lot of room to improve with artifact sets and just leveling artifacts in general. See if our Cardiel is booked. Okay. Oh, nice. I wasn't expecting that. And Scyl? Syl's not booked. I'll try to hold off on booking her, but I was kind of expecting to have the revive booked here for my plan. This is pretty solid too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11 books. Let's see what he's got. 10 books. Okay. So he's got almost enough books to cover it, but I don't want to spend them if I don't have to. Outside of Clan v Clan. Let's just take a brief look at his dungeon runs here. Who's he running Minnow with? Okay, Leorius. Good choice. Leorius is an insanely strong champ. Not just for Arena, but for PvE as well. Okay, so we're on 21 Ice Golem running Leorius, Ugo, Reliquary Tender. Pretty solid setup. I would remove this guy because he probably does too much damage. So the team I'm going to run with this will be something like probably Physics, Reliquary Tender, Cardiel Scyl, and I don't think we have any AoE decrease attack, do we? I'll have to look at that. So we'll just run one more, maybe Sylar. Somebody for more control, more safety. Maybe a Deliana could be good. Or even just Frozen Banshee for some poison damage. Because we're going to need some poisons or HP burns to do the damage. So maybe Drexar would be good here. Something like that. The goal isn't to do a speed run here. It's just to get a semi-consistent Ice Golem 25 team. And then as you go on, you get, you know, more champs with... The main thing you're missing here is decrease attack AoE. Once you get that, it becomes much safer to do damage to the Ice Golem. So then you can start bringing in some more damage, some more direct damage anyway. But yeah, I'll probably do something like that. And just if they're built well, they should be able to tank through it. Dragon, we're farming 20 here. Pretty solid dragon team. Minute 54. Oh, that's okay. I'm not sure if he wants to move up to 24 or not to farm slightly better gear, but I would definitely recommend it if you can. And then Fire Knight. So that's not bad too. I'm sure the waves are quite fast with Leorius. I think Martyr. I guess Martyr's here for control. I would probably try... a team like this with Scyl for the control and revive. If Vizix is doing A1 only on the boss, and Cardiel is fast enough cycling his ally attack, this should be enough to keep the shield down. But if not, you could do something like this. And then you wouldn't really need a reviver, I don't think. You should have enough control and damage. Yeah, it's a tough one there. Scyl, I think, has turn meter on her A1 too, doesn't she? Yeah, 30% chance to decrease the turn meter. Not the best, but it still works. As you move up to 24, 25, you'd probably need something like an allure in there. Or you gotta bring a heal reduction. And off the top of my head, oh yeah, Cold Heart has heal reduction. I forgot about that because I don't use her. So you can technically build a team that's tanky enough to survive a hit, and just have that heal reduction up and continue cycling through the shield. So yeah, that'd be a decent team to try. And then Spider, we're running 20 as well. Drexstar for the HP burns. Armiger, Cold Heart, Sylar for some crowd control, and Leorius for some damage. Now this seems kind of strange to me, having Leorius here. If your goal is HP burns, you don't want to be killing the spiderlings. So what you would want here instead would probably be just a Scyl. Low damage, AoE stuns, decreased speed. Not that, well, Sylar brings decreased speed as well, and revive in case Drexstar goes down. So I'm going to spend some time here gearing some champs and see what I can figure out. I'm going to go through all the gear and check out what he's got on the account. And then we'll come back with some Ice Golem and Tag Team. Alright, so here's the Scyl build that we're working on. The gloves, the Relentless gloves, are really trash. They're not adding a lot to the build. So I was just going through to see if there's anything else I could substitute and put on some Perception gloves, because he doesn't have any good Relentless gloves. But it doesn't look like there's anything there, so Syl's gonna have to wear these trashy gloves for now. But yeah, this is basically completely wasted substats other than the 10 accuracy. So as soon as you get a better piece of Relentless to sub out, if you can replace the weapon or the body with a Relentless piece, throw on those Perception gloves, or if you get better Relentless gloves, make Scyl a priority ASAP. I did steal the helmet, the shield, and the boots from Leorius. Defense, resistance, those are the main roles on these boots, so not so useful for Leorius. And again, speed, resistance, hit points. This is a perfect Scyl shield. And the helmet, again, double speed, resistance. So yeah, I took those from Leorius. I threw on a resistance banner. This is the only one he had, but luckily it does have some speed on it, and it has some hit points on it. So all to the good. Wait, I don't even know if Scyl needs attack. No, it's all defense. Sorry, I wasted your glyph. Haha. I took this from Shield Guard. He was in the vault. I assumed you don't use him anymore, so. And this I took from War Maiden. I didn't see her in any of your teams, so I'm also assuming you don't use her anymore. Now this build is lacking accuracy, as you can see, so I'm really hoping to hit it on the last roll there. Otherwise, we might get a roll there, but yeah, the accuracy is pretty bad. Once you get the better gloves, hopefully they have more speed and more accuracy on them. And then you can get yourself a 6-star accuracy banner like this. And then when you're doing anything where you don't need resistance, you can just swap the banner out, put accuracy in, and that should boost your accuracy to a decent point. So yeah, 96 accuracy on top of that, plus whatever you can get from sub rolls and a new piece of gear. And then if you're using her in like Doom Tower or something for high tier accuracy, throw her in with your Drexstar is usually a good combo. He's got the accuracy aura, so it'll get her up to about the point where you need her, where she can start taking down, stunning the higher tier waves. So I'm gonna go and build the Cardiel next, and then we'll see what we have. Okay, here's our Cardiel build. We had to reset the masteries because he put them into offensive, which is okay for PvE, but yeah, you're gonna want to definitely get support for the heals and the lasting gifts and Lore of Steel, depending on which sets you're using. And then his best masteries are either an extra 50 resist with the turn meter, a little bit of extra tankiness, 8% less chance damage from getting crit, more resistance. The thing about Cardiel, like especially on an early to mid game account, you're not going to have the gear to get all the stats you want for 3v3 Arena and for Doom Tower Hard by taking War Master. So you definitely want to get these support masteries. He's not there to do damage. He's just there to cycle turns, be an unkillable tank, be undebuffable, and keep the rest of your team doing damage. So those were the masteries I went with him. This is the gear I have him built in. As you can see, we went super high resistance, as much speed, defense, and hit points as we could, and the rest of the stats don't really matter. It is nice to have some AC on him if you can, but his only debuff is that fear, and it's conditional, so it's really not important at all. I put him in a couple resist sets to get the resist we wanted, and then he's not ascended, so there's no banner I can put on him, and I don't have the potions to ascend him, and there's no even good banners here anyway. But once you get him ascended, I'd probably throw this banner on him for now. When you can, get a resist banner on him with as much speed as possible, and then of course you can level these up. It's not that important for what I'm doing today, but that'll give him extra tankiness in Arena. And then these are the, went with 1 hit points %, 1 defense %. Ideally for Arena, you'd want him in an immunity set, or even possibly a shield set or a guardian set. Those are shield and guardian are pretty good for PvE as well, but as I needed to hit the resist and I didn't have the gear, I went with resistance sets. I think I stole the ring off Armiger, and I think I stole this off Armiger as well. You definitely want to give this guy your best tanky gear and revenge as well, because if he's getting counterattacks, he's going to be healing every time he counterattacks. Okay, so I'm going to check out the builds for the rest of the champions I'm bringing, and we'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and threw gear back on the Leorius. There wasn't enough Savage to make a good set, but I did swap out the speed boots for attack % boots. I noticed the arena team you're running has Visix in it for lockdown, So I'm guessing it's Arbiter speed boost into Physics lockdown, which means it doesn't really matter how fast Leorius is running as long as it's not, you know, too slow there. You've got a couple of other pieces you can level up for more speed. And once you get some better, like, you don't really need the perception set on this champ, especially with an accuracy banner on. So once you get an attack banner, swap that out. Once you get a decent crit damage amulet, you can swap that out. I would wait for a 6-star. This one doesn't really have any good stats for him. But if you get a 6-star crit damage amulet, toss that in there. And then an attack ring would be preferable. Attack ring with attack substats. Until then, I didn't really think it was worth swapping out. Because this gives him a decent amount of tanky stats. But yeah, the perception can go. You can just do either 3 cruel sets, or once you get savage, throw a savage set on him. So yeah, that's what I did with Leorius. Mastery's looking okay. I would have probably gone... These two are fine. Instead of going for this one, go for Whirlwind of Death and Ruthless Ambush. And this one doesn't really help you in your current arena setup because you're using Physics for Provoke, and that's none of these. So I'd probably go for Wrath of the Slain and then bring it down. And then after that, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. That's probably what I'd do. These aren't bad masteries at all. You've gone support, which is also fine. I typically prefer to go defense on my arena nukers. The decreased defense is nice to land, I guess. But getting an extra 5% chance on 60%, that's less than a 10% improvement, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's his only debuff. Okay, never mind. He's got the weaken as well. Weaken and True Fear. Okay. That's 100, but these are both 100%. So you're not gaining anything with that mastery. But it is nice that he has some accuracy on him. I just don't think you need that much. So yeah, either the perception set or the accuracy banner can go. So yeah, that was the Leorius. I'm going to check out Physics and a couple more. Okay, I reset the Scyl Masteries as well. He was going for War Master, which is decent for a little bit of extra PvE damage. But again, until your gear is super endgame, with Scyl of the Drakes, she's not there to do damage at all. You just want her to be as tanky and survivable as possible, getting as much turn meter as she can, as much speed as she can. From here, you can go two ways. You could go for Fearsome Presence, which is what I prefer. It gives her an extra 5% chance to land her stun on each of the hits. That's what I would recommend. Or you can go Retribution over to Unshakable, which just gives her more resist. On this tier, I would recommend Evil Eye. It helps with hard Doom Tower waves, keeping them controlled. But you could also go for Harvest Despair, which gives you a chance to throw up a leech when you stun, which, depending on your strategy for Doom Tower waves, that could be beneficial. Like if you have a big nuker who doesn't have lifesteal on, this can help him keep sustained. But I'll leave that for now and until I do the Ice Golem runs and see if we need to make any changes to her. Okay, I'm just gonna run in and try a test run with the couple of champs I have built here. Okay, so Helicath is fine. Vizix is fine. This is going to be a really low damage run. Not Arbiter. Scyl. It's going to be a really low damage run. But it should be safe. I'm just thinking we don't need Reliquary Tender because we have Scyl and... So who can we bring for more damage? Narma? How's Narma built? Let me quickly check Narma. Lifesteal, decent accuracy, decent speed. It's either going to be Narma or Frozen Banshee, perhaps. She's really squishy, though. Okay, I'm just going to send it with the tanky team and see how they hold up. I guess I could put in Leorius as well. I think these two are tanky enough to survive a smack. So might as well try it. We got the block damage there too, so that should help a bit. Let's send it. He'll at least smack the waves for us. So with all the resist I have stacked on Cardiel and Scyl, I don't think there's any way, unless we get the 3%, that we'll get debuffed by the bosses. So it should be a pretty safe run, even if Leorius triggers a smack. Especially if Helicath has his block damage up, obviously. We've got the shield there too for some extra protection. So much healing in this setup. This is awesome. The only thing, I mean, having Scyl with books will make... it won't really affect this run because we've got Vizix for crowd control. But when you have any runs without Vizix in them, you'll need Scyl booked. And then again, like I said, the Fearsome Presence is what I prefer with her. Even if you're not running a stun set, I still think it's really valuable, but it's open for debate whether that or the resistance will be more useful for you. So I'll try to leave those, that last mastery decision for you. Just pray these guys can tank it. It's gonna look pretty sad if they don't. Yeah, that was a lot of damage. So if we get smacked when both of the golems are up, that might be a close one. Unless we have block damage up, of course. Or the shield. They seem to be cycling the minions pretty effectively though, so there's a good chance we don't get smacked when both of them are down. Or when both of them are up, rather. This is going to be the make or break point when we come down to the end here. And like I said, the thing that makes this run much more safe is having a decrease attack. And I think I would take out Visix to put in an AoE decrease attack once you get one. Oof. Luckily we had the revive on death there. So yeah, to make this safer you would take out Leorius, but then it's going to be a lot slower. So I'm going to run through the rest and see how this does on stage 25. Alright, so we're here on 25. 4 minutes for the waves. As you can see, it is quite slow. This run is meant to be more safe than fast. Because you're not really going to be farming much Ice Golem, I think. Apart from stage 20 for fusions. What you want to do when you get to the boss, you want to target one of the ads. That way you can just make sure one of them's dead as soon as possible. And you're going to be keeping track of when the thresholds are coming as best as you can. And then when you notice like block damage has just gone up or revive on death has just gone up and you're close to a threshold, you can go ahead and target the boss. But the idea is just kill the ads. You can do it full auto, just click on them to target them. Because once they're dead, he doesn't really pose much of a threat. You could replace Leorius with a Drexstar and just let the hit point burns do most of the damage. Or replace Visix with Drexstar. I think this is fine. You'll just have to do this another 9 times. It'll probably work on full auto if you want to waste energy and just let it run until you get the correct RNG. And if you wanted this to be even safer, you could AI set Leorius to not use his AoE damage. Because that's what's likely. The AoE damage plus the ally joins attack is what causes the most damage to the boss, and then he ends up retaliating. But this is a pretty safe way to do it, pretty easy. Just make sure to target the ads when they come up. And if you're getting close to a threshold, go ahead and target the boss once block damage comes up like this. Would have been nice if he auto retaliated there when the block damage was up. Usually he's retaliated by now. Yeah, this boss does a lot of damage. Okay, so hopefully this triggers his auto retaliate. There we go. Okay, so the ads come back up, target them. This is where you start to become really vulnerable. And this is where you might want Leorius to stop, to not have his AoE damage up. Because if you get smacked right now, without block damage up, you're pretty much screwed. So I'm going to target the boss because I have Revive from Death. And he's very close to retaliating. So there's the retaliate. Kills everybody, but we get the revive. And then we're going to go ahead and target the ads again. But yeah, you can see how Leorius's AoE damage is pretty dangerous here. We're going to wait for block damage or revive on death to come back up. There we go. And now we'll target the boss. And we'll hopefully trigger his... Yeah, there's his last one. So now we'll... Or sorry, I think he's got one more, maybe. Either way, we'll target the ad. And hopefully this seals the deal. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just target the boss then. Yeah, there's the last one on the block damage. And now we can just finish off the boss. So it is a bit sketchy without the decrease attack. But as I said, you do have a couple of options there to make it safer. Either replacing Leorius or turning off his AoEs. But you only have to do it 9 times. Hopefully it's not too big of a trouble. And you can try it. I haven't tried it on full auto. But you could give it a go and see what happens. If the RNG comes at the proper time, where you have the buffs up anyway, then it's not going to make a difference. So that's Ice Golem 25. Boom. So now we're just going to do 3v3 arena. So I'm going to try out the team in regular arena first. The team that I want to build. If we can find anybody. These all look like pretty rough teams. I don't think you have the gear to take on these high levels. So we'll go into tag team. Hit a quick refresh. Okay, so you've got a speed team here. A second speed team, and then Cardiel. So this is going to be your strongest go second team. I think something like this will work. This will be your weak speed team. And for this team, I would probably take out Drexstar and put in your strongest attack nuker. So whether it's Thylesia or Gaius. Gaius would be really good once you have him built out. He would be strong for this team. But something like that. For your second speed team, speed into block damage, into maybe double nuke, or into crowd control nuke, or defense down nuke. So here, I'm gonna set up what I think your teams should look like. I don't even know if you need drop defense if you're going to be using a bomb champ. So you could throw Sylar in there. Or Sepulture Sentinel. You could throw somebody tanky in there. But then you want your Gaius in there to drop the bombs, drop the nukes. So I'll leave that. And you can fiddle around with that last slot. It could be drop defense. It could be more disruption. It could be protection for Gaius. You could even throw Helicath in there just to guarantee another round afterwards. Second team. You do have the makings of a second go second team, I think. So it'd be something like Sylar in a stun set. Ugo is good, but you put her in the last slot. Thylesia drop defense and nuke. And Ugo for... Okay, you don't need 2 drop defense there, so... Maybe your Drexar for some crowd control. Having 1 person in a shield set would be ideal for this team. Archmage Helmet in a shield set is pretty good. And then your last team for now is going to be Cardiel Scyl, Martyr, Leorius. You could replace Martyr with Rosin. And then Cardiel Scyl. And it's a full resist team. And it's go second. Rosin, you just want to be as fast as possible with accuracy and maybe a shield set. But the... what you want to do here is basically just have Leorius be your damage, and these two resist everything and keep the team alive. But we're going to go with the first option for now, just to see how it works. I know Martyr's built pretty well for your clan boss, so I wanted to try her out here. Okay, so I'll just throw somebody in here for now. Thylesia is fine. Now your go second team is going to be... I guess we're against 3 speed teams here, so... I'm going to try your go second team against their first team. Your speed team against their slowest speed team, and then I'll throw your weakest team against their fastest speed team. And I'll just sacrifice that battle, basically. I don't know how Thylesia or Gaius are built, but this should give us a small idea of how these teams are working. Okay, so they're going to go first. See how we resist everything. Oh, that Scyl must have a ton of accuracy. Okay, so we want him to use... I think we want to keep his passive intact. So we'll try to use his crowd control nuke. Boom. Leorius is perfect in a go second team like this because he can't be debuffed. And he's got the Swift Parry passive. And then he's got just 2 huge AoE nukes, and he does the weaken debuff for himself. Okay, so I should have used a provoke there. I wasn't paying attention. So then you do drop defense, and then Gaius comes in with the bombs. So once you build Gaius out with level 60 with a ton more attack, you give him Eagle Eye Mastery for more accuracy, and you just try to boost his accuracy as high as possible. Make sure he lands those bombs. Oh, he's got Ignore Unkillable, doesn't he? I should have used it there. Yeah, that's another good thing about him. He can bypass Swift Parry as well. And he works well with Arbiter because he gets the attack up buff. And then your last team is the team that you basically are sacrificing. You hope you win sometimes, but usually you won't. If Drexstar goes down here, now you have Ugo who can revive everybody. And then it gives you another chance at coming back in the fight. So we're gonna block damage, give us some time to do some work. We're going to decrease turn meter and slow speed. And then ideally Drexstar would be like another damage dealer. So maybe actually Martyr would actually be really good in that spot. She gives the increased defense too, so that Helicath does more damage. Sylar in a stun set is just there to disrupt as much as possible. You get the decreased defense from Ugo. And then you're going to want to build your Ugo as tanky as humanly possible, so that it increases the chances that you can get the revive off. So we'll try against another one of these teams. This team looks really strong, and they're probably going to kill us. I don't think any of our teams can take that team. So you're going to sacrifice that fight. The next one is a speed team, so we'll put our strongest go second against it. And then the one after that is a resistance team, which if you have your Gaius built properly, he should be able to overcome any resistance team at this point in the game. Because he'll have Eagle Eye and just a shit ton of perception. So this would be how you'd set up this fight. And there is a small chance here that Ugo survives. So I'll throw the block damage up. I don't think we're going to win this fight, but we might, so we'll see. We'll do a quick heal. Yeah, they've got too many strips and too much hit points. Okay, so I'm just going to sack this fight and we'll go on to the other teams. Okay, so Scyl and Cardiel resist. Drexstar must have a lot of accuracy. Scyl, this is where the 50 resist mastery is good for Scyl. Okay, so we're going to do ally join attack on the reviver. If we can kill the reviver, then the rest of the fight we can whittle down. And then we'll do our weaken nuke. So Martyr feels kind of wasted on this team, to be honest. So maybe this is where you'd throw in the Rosin lead for the extra resistance. And then put Martyr in your first place team. And then, okay, make sure I do the provoke this time. Drop defense. And bomb. So we'll try one more fight. We'll take one of these teams against a Duchess here. Probably your speed team. I don't know if Gaius has enough attack to nuke down a Duchess, but this looks like a slower speed team, so I think we can win the speed race. This team is interesting. Let's test out our go second team against a stronger looking team here. The second fight is a really bad matchup for our block damage team because they've got a seer. So that basically just feeds them more buffs to screw us with. You wouldn't normally take your go second team against their strongest. Because you're really only trying to guarantee you win 2 fights. In this case, I'm going to try to take out their damage with the ally attack. Okay, it was close. Okay, so she just used her revive, which means you can sit the team down and then just auto the rest. But a lot of 3v3, again, isn't just about having well-built, strong teams. It's about understanding the type of team you want to put yours against. So this has the makings of a really strong go second team. And Sylar, you'd like her to be more tanky, I guess, so she can survive a bit. You could put another disruptor in Sylar's place, and that would work too. So let's decrease defense, throw some bombs up. And like a Gaius team, you wouldn't put him against cleansers, obviously, or else he does no damage. So there's just a lot of it comes down to the matchups. And yeah, you're going to need a lot more damage on Gaius for this team. So I think that's about it for the takeover. You've got some solid teams here for 3v3. The weak points, you can replace Martyr and throw in your resistance Rosin. Rosin with really high speed and accuracy to help disrupt the enemy team. Or a shield set just to help with a bit more protection. This team, Sylar's really weakly built because she has to be so fast for PvE. So you could replace her with another disruptor, tanky provoker like Martyr you could put in there. And that would probably be a really good fit, although she's also pretty slow due to your clan boss. But Ugo can probably be replaced with another strong reviver if and when you get one. She's decent here. If you build her tanky enough, then she'll have no problem fitting into this team. And then your last team here is fine. Just build your Gaius out. Tons of accuracy, more damage, all that fun stuff. So yeah, there's the takeover. And if you have anything else you want to work on or need help working on, or any questions about anything, hit me up on Discord, Mr. Commander Chobo, and thank you for letting me play around on your account. I will catch you in the next one.